Hey everybody, Judy, the YouTube lawyer here with Remy, who is graciously
Hello.
agreeing to help read. Thank you for
My
being here.
pleasure.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
for having me, of course. Always a
Sure.
pleasure. How have
Yeah.
you
How
been?
are how are you today?
I'm doing well. Enjoying the last bits of the weekend and enjoying the
Mhm.
nice weather. Here in Florida, it's not the usual
Mhm.
120 degrees outside, so I'm
Oh,
exaggerating, but it's nice to be able to walk outside and not have it feel like the seventh layer of hell.
yeah.
So
Okay, that's good to hear. Did you grow up in Florida?
I did up in kind of North Florida, out on
Oh,
a potato farm, potatoes and cabbage, believe it or not. So for the
oh,
first
okay.
10 years of my life, then moved out to the city. So
Hmm.
became a computer IT guy from that point on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're used to the terrible weather,
The heat, the
gators.
humidity, the
Okay.
gators, the
Yeah.
snakes, the mosquitoes, the massive roaches, or they call
Hmm.
them palmetto bugs, the real
Oh,
huge,
darn.
nasty ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
never fun one of those flies into your house.
Man. Okay.
Ugh.
So as I mentioned before, we're just reading the last 5 pages of Sigfredo's terrible motion for post-conviction relief, which is basically like a last-ditch effort to try to get out of it and get a new trial. So we'll show I guess I could show the screen scrolling through the last half of the motion toward the end if
Cool.
people are really interested. So, okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Nice. Counsel was highly ineffective, failing to object to Sergeant Corbett listening to Mr. Sawiki's expert testimony, having no idea what Sergeant Corbett would have testified to had he not observed the testimony, and or if he would have testified at all had he not heard Sawiki testimony.
Under FS 90616-2C, the defendant would have to waive sequestration or the state prove sergeant's presence essential.
Defense counsel was ineffective, failing to object Manolini and preserve Willis Daniels Supra FS 924051, the cell site locations, and stipulated to evidence being used at trial and closing arguments were highly prejudicial. Bartholomew Supra.
Issue 6. Defense counsel was ineffective, failing to object to evidence of other crimes and bad acts, violating U.S. Constitution 5th, 6th, 14th Amendment rights and Florida Constitution Article 1, Section 916.
The state produced evidence at this trial of federal grand jury indictment, GJI, that listed the state witness, who is currently serving a 12.5-year sentence as a result.
This was discussed at length during the state witness's testimony, LRTT 1105, page K 1180, and FBI agent P. Stanford's testimony, TT 1987 P2506.
Defense counsel was ineffective, failing to object to the RICO conviction that was a result of the GJI, the LR, was involved in all its testimony, in all its forms, as it had no relevance to the charged in the indictment, nor did it prove any material fact at issue or element of the crime.
The RICO indictment testimony amounted to evidence of other crimes, wrongs, or acts under FS 90402A, Williams Rule Evidence, see Robertson versus State, testimony about other incidentally unconnected to instant crime, alleging another uncharged crime constituting Williams Rule evidence is reversible error.
Relevant similar fact evidence is inadmissible if its probative value is substantially outweighed by the danger of unfair prejudice, confusion of issues, misleading the jury, or needless presentation of cumulative evidence, FS 90.403.
The federal GJI had nothing to do with any murder or killing, and the testimony only produced a bad character of the defendant and a propensity to commit other crimes.
The evidence does not have to be necessary to the state's case, merely relevant, so long as it is relevant for any purpose of fact. See Cardona versus State, 835 SO.2D 297-299, Florida 5th DCA 2002, Stevenson's versus State, 695 SO.2D 687-688-89, Florida State CT 1997. Oh, Supreme Court. Florida Supreme Court 1997.
The state did not meet the relevancy factor. LR testified that, and it was argued by the state that he pled to a lesser included charge while already serving a federal prison term, that he was in a protective management unit in Arizona, as his gang member followers had a, quote, kill on sight order on him for testifying for the state. See Whitefield versus State, 1985 case.
In parallel, the defendant's theory was that LR, having clearly admitted to being involved in the crime, must have committed the murder with someone else. As to the, quote, kill on sight, end quote, order, the statement by LR was that the, quote, gang was trying to, quote, kill him for, quote, snitching, with no evidence offered or produced by the state that the, quote, gang was trying to, quote, kill him for, quote, snitching, with no evidence offered or produced by the state that he, LR, quote, snitched in and for the federal case, and the only implication and or inference that could be gotten was that he was in danger of losing his life for testifying on the defendant SG and co-defendant KM, when absolutely no proof that the defendant made such a threat or gave such an order, quote, KDS, quote. This testimony by the state witness was highly prejudicial, and it was error to admit it. See Gregory versus the state, Florida Supreme Court, 2013. Ponticelli versus state, Florida Supreme Court, 1991.
Defense counsel had a witness to rebut LR's testimony, but did not call him to do so. Dr. De La Cruz, TT 1921-23, an expert in gang culture from California, defendant who wasn't a member of his gang. And at that point, no evidence was offered of defendant being a member. The prejudice is evident and infected the whole trial.
Issue 7. Defense counsel was ineffective, failing to conclude the testimony of drug use by the defendant and PHOT pack.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
What's a FOT pack?
I don't know. Violating the U.S. 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights. Florida Constitution, Article 1 and 9, 12 and 16.
At trial, the state presented witness Shodrick Nobles, TT 1215-1253, who testified that the defendant used drugs when he saw them a month prior to the crime. And he also picked each person out of a photo pack, which was entered into evidence, doubting the testimony of Agent P. Sanford.
The drug use of a defendant is inadmissible. See 90.403 Shaw versus Jane, Florida 1st DCA 2005, having the prejudicial effect of inflaming the jury against the defendant depriving a fair trial on the merits or lack thereof on the facts, elements of the crime offered. Mount versus Camellar, Florida 3rd DCA 2002. See also Stevenson Supra.
The relevance versus prejudice must be made by trial court. Sims versus Brown, Florida Supreme Court case, 1991.
The state relied on this testimony in closing argument. Bartholomew Supra, defense counsel failed to object and preserve the issue for appeal. Manolini, Willis, Daniels, Supra, Florida Supreme Court, or Florida Statute 924.051.
The drug used was mentioned multiple times throughout the trial. During co-defendant KM's testimony, state witness LR's testimony, also the subject of demonstrative aid transcripts for the wiretap audio calls given to the jury, the conceded to inaccuracies not having been redacted by the state.
The testimonies prejudiced a fair trial, danger of convicting the defendant for drug use and not the crime charged. Defendant was entitled to mistrial and moves for an evidentiary hearing.
Issue 8. Defense counsel was ineffective, failing to object to domestic violence evidence attached to severance of trial to co-defendant KM, violating U.S. 5th, 6th, 14th Amendment rights and Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 916.
Before trial testimony of co-defendant KM, TT 2673, 2688 through 89, a ruling by the court was made that no testimony of any domestic violence between the defendants was to be heard by the jury. Defense counsels having numerously throughout trial moving for a severance and being denied.
Severance is authorized under Florida Criminal Procedure 3.152B1A should be granted when evidence is admissible against one defendant and not the other. Dix versus State, 2016 case, also promotes a fair determination of guilt of each defendant. Goss versus State, 2020 case.
Defense counsel failed to object when the state elicited testimony from KM about a domestic violence altercation that occurred between SG, KM, and Charles Adelson while the defendant's children were present. TT 2705 through 2709. Manolini, Willis, Daniels, Supra, Florida Statute 924.051, 90.403, exclusion for prejudice.
The court making a prior ruling on the inadmissibility of this evidence and counsel failing to object at that point was highly ineffective and moving for mistrial. Duest Supra.
Compound the fact that this domestic violence scene had an inclusion of a potential act of violence against a member of the victim's family, highly prejudicial. Counsel was ineffective.
Defendant was entitled to a severance, and at that point in this trial, the state relied on this evidence in closing. Bartholomew Supra.
Defendant moves for an evidentiary hearing.
Conclusion. The defendants were convicted on inadmissible evidence that created the illusion of guilt. No legal evidence was used, and no direct evidence of guilt ever existed, especially when you consider Defense Exhibit 6 and the audio of Agent Sanford choosing who he wanted to be guilty of this crime.
Defendant never received a complete record on appeal. This motion was written with no court record whatsoever. No historical cell site documents, jury instructions, depositions, certification of authenticity of affidavits, jury voir dire, phone records, SunPass documents, Facebook et al., nor anything filed by the state or defense counsels, no 934.01, Florida statute, interception, application, or orders, no record at all. The defendant was deprived of all these things while and for the crafting of this document.
The defendant contends that that meets the extraordinary circumstances of cause and prejudice defined in Murray versus Carrier, U.S. 1986, and entitles the defendant to re-argue and expand on the above arguments when the documents are actually obtained under Florida Rule of Criminal Procedure 3.050, excusable neglect as the circumstances was outside of his control, filing a civil mandamus and a 9.141 to resolve the issue.
Defendant also invokes the holding in Townsend versus Sane, 373 U.S. 293, 312 through 14, U.S. 1963, outlining the six-pronged test for a federal evidentiary hearing for the lack of the state court ordering a hearing. The facts not being developed on the issue raised so a legal determination can be ruled on as legal or not. Jones versus Thompson, 11th Circuit, citing Boyd versus Allen, 11th Circuit, 2010.
Defendant is in prison, having been convicted by law enforcement by use of very sinister means.
Relief sought, wherefore the defendant moves this honorable court for an evidentiary hearing on all issues, a cause ordered to issue to the state, and for the appointment of counsel, Wheeler versus the state, Florida 1st DCA 2002, as well as any other relief deemed necessary, and ultimately the reversal of the convictions.
Okay, so he swears it's all true. This was submitted August 24th this year. Okay, thank you. We'll take that off the screen. Okay, so what was the state's pithy response? Let's try to show that on the screen here. Thank you guys for being here, caring about justice for Dan. Okay, this is the state's response, September 11th. Okay, can you go ahead, please?
State's response to defendant's motion for post-conviction relief. Comes now the state of Florida and files this response to the defendant's motion for post-conviction relief filed on August 24th, 2023, pursuant to Rule 3.850, Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure. The state denies defendant's claims and requests this matter be set for an evidentiary hearing where it will be defendant's burden to prove the claims alleged. Pennington versus State, Florida 1st DCA 2010. The state does not waive and reserves the right to raise any available procedural bars or facial insufficiencies claims at the evidentiary hearing. Wherefore, the state of Florida requests for the foregoing reasons that the court set the defendant's motion for post-conviction relief for an evidentiary hearing.
Okay,
Respectfully submitted. You're welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here to help out.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay, sure.
So then what happened?
Okay, so nothing has happened as far as I know. I don't see any
So it's
notice.
pending.
Yeah, there's no hearing date set so far. So maybe that's going to be put off until after Charlie's trial. Not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are the chances? I mean, honestly.
I think it's 0 because as you saw, it looked like he was just doing some sort of crappy cut and paste job and just talking off the top of his drug-addled head. Well, I'm sure he's not, well, maybe he's not doing drugs anymore in prison, but
right.
Yeah, because
they may have taken their toll.
Yeah, because that just seemed kind of stupid because he's arguing, saying that they shouldn't have brought out criminal history, but that had to do with not Sigfredo, Lewis,
Right.
with him. So
Mm.
I think the logic there was just kind of flawed in
Hmm.
general. So yeah.
So they'll set an actual whole entire trial with a jury, and is that his right at this
Oh,
point?
no, he doesn't get a new trial.
Okay,
No.
got
Okay, so they're going to have like a small little hearing where Sigfredo gets to present evidence about his allegations in his motion.
I see.
So then it's up to the judge to decide, should he get post-conviction relief by
Okay.
getting a new trial, which is very unlikely. It's very rare. So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
he's desperate, so
Yeah.
might as well.
What's he got to lose? So, okay. I see James is here. Thank you. All the regulars are here.
Everyone's here for justice for Dan Markel.
Yeah,
the days are counting
great.
down. So they're going to
Okay.
start jury selection next week?
Yeah, I can't believe it. We have like 8 more days before jury selection. I hope they get a great jury.
Right.
So, and hopefully it doesn't take too long.
And let's pray that they don't get into a situation where they're going to try to relocate. I mean, I've heard that's like word around the campfire. That could also always happen if they can't agree on jurors, or the pool of jurors are too tainted. Yeah, they're aware of everything that's gone on. So
yeah,
let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, because I've mentioned this before, but it does seem like our group of regular case followers, none of us are here or are there in Tallahassee.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not in Tallahassee either, right? So,
nope.
We're just obsessed people across the whole country.
Right.
Or even the globe.
Right. So I saw they were talking about some sort of questionnaire for the potential jurors.
Yeah, that got denied.
It did.
Yeah. So I guess it's pretty unusual also to use a written questionnaire as opposed to just speaking.
Right.
So the judge denied that. Let's see. Oh, we have one more thing if you're.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let me bring this up. This was just filed on Friday. So you want to go ahead? It's pretty short.
Yes, the notice of intent to introduce summary pursuant to Florida statutes section 90.956, who's who with numbers. The state of Florida, by and through the undersigned assistant state attorney, and pursuant to section 90.956 Florida statutes, gives notice to the defense that the state will offer evidence in the form of a summary. This notice is being provided in advance of trial and timely provides notice of intent to use said summary. The underlying evidence, which is the subject of said notice, is as follows. In this murder for hire case, the state has prepared a graph which shows the connection between the victim to the convicted killers through the defendant and his family. Similar items have been previously provided in discovery, previously labeled as Demo C. A copy of the demonstrative summary has been provided to defense counsel, who has indicated they do not object to the introduction of the summary. Respectfully submitted, Jack Campbell, State Attorney.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
That's the same thing they showed in the previous trial. So that's good. No objection.
Right. And so that was for Sigfredo.
No, actually, that's in Charlie's trial.
Oh, okay. Got it.
This got submitted on Friday. So,
okay. So,
cool.
Yeah, I saw one particular question that came in out of order. I just want to answer it while I was remembering it. But someone asked about the WhatsApp data and if the WhatsApp data could be recovered. And, this WhatsApp made its name for having encrypted messages that people can't get to, law enforcement or anyone. It's just inherently hard to get access to it. And it's been so many years, I would almost say it's 100%. They're not going to be able to recover that data. I mean, it was encrypted back then, almost 10 years ago. I think it's slim to none chance unless somehow one of the people who was using the application had somehow saved it using the application at the time, potentially saved it to a screenshot, or if they were able to export the text to some sort of document, or something like that, some sort of other format. But as far as beginning the process of retrieving it, particularly through the application, the developer, I highly doubt their databases even still have a record of those communications.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
so
no problem.
You work in IT.
Have for about, my goodness, 20 years now.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
You look so young. People were like, "Oh, you look like Dan Markel's younger brother."
Wow. Thanks. Yep. In my early 40s, so
Okay.
still pretty young.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
the IT field, been in that for quite a while. And yeah, WhatsApp, like I said, they pride themselves on the fact that it's the text messages are encrypted. So not the easiest place to go to get stuff, I would think, if you had a warrant, to be honest. I'm not so sure they're really known for readily giving over all their data. So
Okay, thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start from the top. Judy said, didn't even know Sigfredo had a motion for his appeal. Yeah, this is actually separate from his appeal, which already lost. So he lost his appeal, and this is like a last-ditch Hail Mary attempt to just, pull something out of a hat and say, please, judge, I still should get a new trial because of all this horrible stuff my old attorney didn't do or did, and all these procedural problems, whatever. So, yeah. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So, yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
When I saw the recent jail photo of Katie, yeah, she's smiling ear to ear, like she just got a free trip to Disney World. Maybe it's for her spite testimony. Yeah, it should be. I mean, someone joked that, maybe she's trying to get prison pen pals. So that's why she was smiling and looking good. But come on.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I still would love to hear what she has to say.
Right.
I mean, even if she's not going to testify in court, I want to see what she said in her offer.
And I think if I'm asking you, if the state intends to use her to testify, do you think they would have already told her that and that she would know about it, or do you think it would be a surprise for her?
No, she would probably know about it, but just as Mentor Lawyer said, they could just decide later not to use her. So we have no idea, but she is ready. She's up in Tallahassee, sitting around in jail, looking better. It looks like she lost a little weight.
Right.
Got her
I remember
done.
In one of the recent court proceedings, where Daniel Rushbaum spoke on the fact of the potential of her testifying, and he got really overly animated when he was saying, then the evidence should be allowed if the state actually calls Katie to the witness stand. Do you remember that? He became overly animated and overly excited. Mm-hmm. And I know Mentor Lawyer mentioned in one of his previous videos that Daniel Rushbaum was a big time poker player. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It seemed like he was trying way too hard and overacting with that enthusiasm, for the idea of bringing Katie on the stand, almost like he was chomping his teeth to be able to get her on a cross-examination, Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I didn't believe it. I think she still may have some value if the state were to put her on the stand. I mean, who knows what she knows? If she has details about Wendy or stuff that we don't know, phone screenshots, information that only she could know, perhaps, that they could match with some of that metadata that they can collect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she can be rehabilitated.
And I think it was jury trial mentor Carl Steinbeck or someone that said, should the state bring her up on the stand, they can just, basically give preface everything by having her admit that she lied and really drill her on her lying and really lay it all out in the open for the jurors to see for like 20 minutes straight. And then after that's all over with, then get into questioning her about stuff that only she could know. I mean, the jury, if the jury's presented stuff that only she could know and corroborate with other data, I think there's some merit to that.
Yeah. I think any normal person would probably believe her if she finally came clean.
Right.
And talked about why. Why did you lie? Well, because Charlie promised me more money. He swore up and down my attorneys were the best. There's no way I'm going to lose. Got a hung jury before. So that's why I took my chances.
Right. You can be convincing. Luis Rivera was very convincing when he spoke the truth.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if they're. Oh yeah. Sorry to hear about Suzanne Summers. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I can't believe she's 76. I remember watching Three's Company when I was a kid. Wow. It's so sad. It's like John Ritter passed away a long time ago.
Yeah, he was young.
Yeah, the guy that played Larry is still alive, though. So, did you ever watch that?
I remember it. I do remember it. Yeah.
I really liked, who's that guy that played Mr. Roper? He was funny.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember watching that with my grandparents when they would come visit. So
he was the landlord, right?
Yeah, the landlord.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I digress. We're here to talk about Dan Markel. So
and justice, the forthcoming justice.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. So thanks for answering that. So, let's see. Okay. Thank you, Tennis Girl. Probative versus prejudicial. Okay. So people are saying hi. Yeah, that's right. Hate that the murderers get all these rights to challenge everything, but Dan has no rights. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And just think of all the taxpayer dollars that have been spent on these trashy people.
That's exactly true. Remember that when you pay your federal income tax.
Yeah.
I guess this would be state tax.
State, yeah.
Your state sales tax.
State employees having to burn the midnight oil responding to all this. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. All those drugs may be the cause for both Sigfredo and Katie's baby medical issue. Yeah, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he was coked up apparently,
and drinking.
That trip, according to Luis Rivera, I mean, he was downing the coke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Katie was often smoking weed, at least.
Right, and man.
So, not sure how the kids are doing now. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Hope everybody is subscribed to Deep Dive True Crime. We have to thank him for explaining a lot of the recent legal issues. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Sam was just in Tallahassee doing the drive-by murder trial, currently in the process of publishing that trial. Yeah. I did take a look at that also. But isn't that weird? Like, this guy is like some expensive, high-powered attorney from Miami. So how do these people afford to pay him? He has to drive and travel back and forth.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you wonder, how does this person have money then to pay for it?
He'll be charging for the entire drive and everything, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's got to be some costs, extra costs.
Portal to portal, as they say. I've been a juror before, and the expert doctor that came in, the defense attorney asked him, are you paid for this? And they asked about his rate, and I remember saying it was from portal to portal when he exits his house until he returns to his house, and the rate was like $225 an hour or something.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh. I actually charge more than that for
nice. Look at you. Good.
I raised my rates because I saw there's this younger attorney who has like probably 7 to 10 years less experience than I do.
Mhm.
And she charges more than I do for a consultation. So I was like, well, shoot, I need to raise my rates.
Nice. Good you had that conversation with her about her rate.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was on her website because there are some
Oh, okay.
attorneys that just flat out put it on their website because they don't
Mhm.
want to have people waste their time if they don't even want to pay. So,
For sure.
yeah, it's a business. It's not
It
legal
is
aid.
indeed.
So,
No. People have
okay.
money, they're willing to pay for their representation. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. So mentor is saying that he signed up for the conflicts list. Yeah. So in other words, some could be paid by the Florida government to
okay.
represent these people. Okay. So
Got
that
it.
makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Sad for all the innocent victims, the kids, Katie's vanity, Wendy's weakness, not to be able to stand up to her. Yeah. Would have thought all this craziness and narcissism and focus on money, which has created this whole criminal case.
Those kids, Wendy's kids, I mean, honestly, they've got to know by now. I know we always say this, but in the digital era, I'm not sure how well she could potentially keep shielding them from the truth. I mean, you think of the reality of it. They've probably got iPads and computers. So Wendy must be having to lock down all those internet browsers like extremely, or else she's like reviewing their history and whatnot. But
yeah,
I mean, they're going to be in college, you know, high school.
Well, they're in high school now.
Yeah, so
middle
they have to know.
Yeah,
they're smart kids, I'm sure.
Yeah, even at school, the kids have access to computers. So it's not just mom and grandparents clamping down on it. So,
And the uncle's gone. Wonder what explanation she gave him for Charlie.
Yeah.
I mean, really, gosh.
Exactly.
Or if she was honest with them. I highly doubt that, but.
Yeah. I'm sure it's some excuse like, oh, you know, he got arrested for something like conspiracy to, you know, mishandling health insurance claims or whatever.
As manipulative as she seems, it'd be some intricate response that she'll eventually give them that makes it so that she had nothing to do with it, you know, or that Charlie was coerced by the bad, you know, the bad gang members or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know where Shadrach is. So that's why he didn't show up to the last trial, because I think they couldn't find him. But I don't think he's that necessary for the case against Charlie.
No. Yeah. Seems like he was more for the chronology of events for Sigfredo and Luis Rivera.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, they're talking about Debbie bringing a painting for mentor lawyer. That's very nice. Okay. Let's see. Yes, you can bring water into the courtroom, like a water bottle. So as he's saying, yeah, Sigfredo is drinking toilet wine. Yeah, that sounds so disgusting. Okay.
I want to drive up there for one day. I guess we'll have to wait and see when the jury's been selected. It's not like they're going to post any sort of schedule for the witnesses.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of just hit or miss.
Just kind of guessing.
Yeah, I think it's about a 3.5 hour drive from where I live. So I might
that's not bad.
Leave really early and take a trip up there and have some coffee on the way and hope there's a good witness.
Yeah.
I hope it's windy.
Yeah, that would be really interesting too. Actually, I think the whole thing is interesting. I wish I could be there for all, whatever, 3 weeks or 3+ weeks, but I have a real job and a family, so can't be there. Yeah. So you're going to take time off from work to do that?
I think I might take one personal day. And, you know, everybody says you can just saunter right into the courtroom, but I think I'm going to call up there and make sure so I don't waste an entire day and get denied, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think you're going to get denied. I mean, maybe on the very first day of opening statements, there might be more people there, but just based on what I saw during Katie's trial, it seemed like there was plenty of room. So lots of empty seats there. Okay, so people are still talking about artwork. Okay. Oh, hi, dude. My question for you and mentor, can Magbanua be playing the long game and hold back testimony of evidence to convict Wendy for a better deal? I don't think so. I think at this point, she already gave her 3 proffers. So she had to basically divulge everything. At that point, she wouldn't be still holding back more stuff, hoping that it's useful down the road. Now's the time, her last-ditch effort to try to get some sort of possible very late deal.
And Georgia Kappelman basically predicted that. I think it was one of her closing arguments. She says something along the lines of, should Katie try to do a proffer this late in the game, we'll see how that works out for her.
See how that works out. Yeah. So we don't know. I mean, Tim Jansen was very adamant that Katie is not going to testify, maybe only just for rebuttal. And he didn't think that she got any sort of deal either, which seems kind of weird, but who knows? Maybe Katie's still happy because she's willing to, just for her own psychological well-being, she wants to just come out and finally talk about what Charlie did.
For sure.
Yeah, why should she be the one to go down?
Right. During the hearing where the judge is allowing or not allowing certain bits of evidence, he keeps mentioning except for impeachment. What does that mean? Where he's going to deny it except for impeachment? What is that scenario?
Yeah, that would only be if the witness says something that's contrary to a prior statement. Then you could bring forth some other outside the court statement just to show that he's being dishonest now.
I see.
That's what impeachment is for.
Okay. Suddenly the evidence becomes relevant.
Yeah, then that out of court statement then does become useful or relevant in terms of impeaching the person.
Makes
make
sense.
them look bad and point out that they're lying. So,
I love how Judge Everett, on the topic of June Mchinda, Donna, talk about Dan haunting her from the grave, and Judge Everett making the comment about you'd have to be a Ghostbuster to.
Yeah, like how does that go to truth? Like, yeah, but again, she said them. I went back and listened to our live stream show, and you also followed up with a question as the FBI agent saying,
right.
Donna said that Dan's back from the grave haunting them or something. So,
I see.
Well, either way, the judge didn't think that was really relevant in terms of Charlie because she didn't say it in regards to Charlie. Charlie wasn't there. There was no immediate communication between her and Charlie. So that's why the judge kept it out. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking Judge Everett. He seems no nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of like makes you feel good about things.
Yes.
Like, he's in control. He's not going to let these like highfalutin attorneys from Miami trample over him. He's not impressed by these people because they have money. He doesn't know them.
Exactly.
I assume, so he's not impressed.
That tone he gets, it's like a lecture type of tone that he's been getting with those lawyers. I love it.
Yeah, kind of like a deadpan voice. Like his face kind of stays the same, but the words bite. So.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Does anyone believe that Sigfredo shot Dan Markel based on the affairs? Yeah, well, it was also because of that ballistics expert, Sean Yao, who testified that based on the trajectory, the bullets were fired by somebody that was a lot taller. So that would have been Sigfredo as opposed to Lewis. So
that ballistics and trajectory is pretty hard to go against that. I mean, it's like basic geometry and physics. So
and Sigfredo had no expert to contradict that. So that's why we basically believe that. Plus the fact that in the the ATM footage, Lewis is still the driver while Sigfredo was in the passenger seat.
Busy doing more coke.
Well, not in the ATM photo, but he's just kind of like looking around. But it's funny
Right.
that they look directly at that camera when they went to get cash.
Right.
Yeah. Talk about how stupid. Like they only needed $40 cash.
Mhm.
And so they got caught again on camera. Yeah. Okay, so oops. Okay, looks like we're way behind on the comments there. Thank you, Mentor, for explaining so much. It's really great to have someone with that background. Wendy says it's easy to recover what's happening. Well, I think she said she wasn't sure, but I don't know. I mean, I have no definitive answer. Yeah, thank you, Bruce. Oh,
Each time you rewatch her videos, it's just it becomes even more and more apparent how much she was acting. I mean, the way she tries so hard to appear innocent when they bring her up to the stand and they're bringing the jury in, and she's just like trying so hard to appear like a deer in headlights, like she's nervous, she's unfamiliar with this. It's just so easy to see through how clear it is that she was overacting.
Yeah, and all those like little smiles. Oh, you're embarrassing me.
Right.
Yeah. And well, I mean, there were so many moments. So I guess that's why people like
So many.
Dawn Taquisto has done multiple live stream shows on her channel, just pinpointing all these like things about Wendy on the witness stand. So
Right. And
I think most jurors were so disgusted by her.
Right.
And then she couldn't remember how old Dan was when he was killed. It's like, oh, let me think. He was born Danny was born in 1971. Like just that whole demeanor, you just wanted to smack her.
Yes.
I'm sorry to be crude, but
right. No. When she's
attitude.
trying to remember the term "stalk the bar party," it seems so obvious that she remembers, but she's trying to appear like she's searching her mind until Kappelman or someone chimes in with it.
Yeah, just trying to get away with everything.
Right. During her interrogation, she takes a call from someone, and she tells the person on the phone Dan's been killed or something like that, and immediately she says, I know. Like the person is reacting to it, and Wendy just talks over them with, I know. And then goes on to talk. Like she's so desensitized to it, even the day of. It's a real subtle thing, but it's just like she's talking over them to get through the rest of the conversation. 1 second of whoever she's talking to reacting to Dan's murder was like too much for Wendy. She just wanted to get it going. So yeah, I've watched that interrogation too many times.
Oh, well, is this like the big case that you've gotten obsessed with, or are you into other cases also?
I mean, I'm into, true crime stuff and serial killers, but no, this one is what obsessed me because of how long it's taking for the wheels of justice to really get going. It was just like, I can't even imagine, by the time it was 2020, 2021, 2022, and then finally the arrest of Charlie. I mean, I remember when the Adelson Institute was still in business, and I kept Googling to check their reviews, and people were putting fake reviews about they have killer service and stuff like that before the company shut down. I think the Google reviews did them in, the Facebook and the Google reviews. So many
Yelp.
people. Yeah, Yelp. So many people trolling them through that avenue.
Okay. Yeah, this thing, I don't think they had it. So I don't know. But then again, I thought I saw something on the exhibit list that referred to this. Do you know anything about this issue, the flyer Lewis saw that Sigfredo brought on the trip?
It seems like I've seen it or seen some sort of picture of it or.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, sorry.
Maybe he recreated it. Maybe he did like a sketch to kind of recreate it so they had a better idea. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when will the proffer become available? Well, it's not supposed to become public until after Charlie's trial. So who knows how quickly that would be accessible. But as soon as it's accessible, I'm sure Deep Dive True Crime will be sure to show it to us.
And the deposition of the forthcoming deposition of Donna and Harvey, that won't be available?
Yeah, it's not even a deposition. It's like an
Oh, okay.
investigative interview.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I asked Mentor that. He said it probably will be quite a while before that would be publicly available. So
Unless
who
they make
knows?
reference to it during the trial, right?
Yeah, I mean, unless they mention it during the trial, but in terms of regular people being able to see the typed up transcript, could be next year. I don't know. Yeah, just a guess. Yeah.
Donna
Okay.
must be ingesting unprecedented amounts of Pepto-Bismol at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mentor Lawyer. But actually, I don't want to say what my PayPal account is because it's also tied to an email address. So it's okay. Don't worry, guys. Thank you. But just watch some commercials or something on the channel. So let's see. Anything that could cause the trial to be delayed. I feel pretty confident it's going to happen.
Just a potential relocation.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to seat a jury though, because it's just us small niche group of obsessed people who are all across the whole country or even in other countries that are really into this case. But I think the average Joe Schmo in Tallahassee probably just either doesn't know or, I mean, it's been what, 9 years since
It's
the
been
crime
9
happened.
years, but
Yeah,
it's probably hitting the local
mhm,
newspapers and
maybe a little.
2020. I think Dateline or 2020
Yeah.
renewed the video of it, kind of updated it and
Mhm.
published it again. I think I saw they renewed it,
Oh, okay. You
but
mean recently?
who's yeah, like remember the 2020, forget what the name of it was.
Over like
It was like
the
an overview of Wendy and Dan
Mhm.
Markel. It's been on the internet for almost 10 years, but I
Oh,
noticed that it had been uploaded like 10 or 15 days ago. So I'm assuming maybe they tweaked it to kind of bring it up to speed.
oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I've seen the old stuff, but
Right,
nothing
right.
recent. Yeah.
For people
Yeah,
like us to sit through those, I mean, it's like just a basic amount of details that we already know. So,
yeah, exactly. It's like I don't have time to watch this old stuff. We already know all
right.
that. Yeah. So I assume it's still going on as scheduled. Yeah, looks like Crash Bomb is going to get very nasty. Yeah, it was kind of interesting how his laid back, funny, humorous, aw shucks demeanor kind of disappeared at the last couple of
Right.
hearings, where he was kind of
Hmm.
reduced to this whiny teenage boy sound. So it's like, oh, I feel a little bit sorry for him, but he's there to argue the heck out of everything for his clients as well as
For
Donna and
sure.
Harvey. Yeah,
Right.
because supposedly he's Charlie's attorney, but he was also acting as if he were
I
Donna and
noticed
Harvey.
that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that over the top enthusiasm that he had about potentially having Katie on the stand.
mhm,
Like, again, I don't believe it. I think it was just too much.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Deep Dive True Crime has come out with a new video today about why those wiretaps are most likely going to be admissible. So,
Great.
okay. Oh, well, this stings. A lie can cause the trial to be delayed. Oh, great. Including an adverse ruling on the wiretap evidence. Okay, but let's hope that wiretap stuff comes in. I mean, it did for the last couple of trials. So why not? Yeah.
Let's hope.
Okay, motion by Rashbaum. Picture for Harvey looks like he's being good. Okay, yeah, those pictures we have of Harvey are very outdated.
Right. The one that looks like he's possessed, I always just assume that was photoshopped at some point. Like, was
Yeah,
that
well, he
really
did
his
like
picture? And my
yeah,
goodness.
he liked to Photoshop pictures of Wendy. Yeah, wonder if Charlie's team. Yeah, who knows? Let's see. The next hearing is supposed to be October 20th. Yeah, not
Excellent.
tomorrow. So, let's see. Okay, a tax extension. Okay. Yeah, I think either party can ask for it to be put off. Yeah. Uh, Yeah, last hearing revealed Frashbaum's true personality and color. Yeah, he'll just argue any sort of ridiculous stuff, him and those other attorneys.
Meanwhile, Judge Everett was completely unfazed by it. I mean, it seemed to have no effect at all on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, at this point, I think he's seen it all. Because one thing that I was impressed by was that he has experience being a public defender as well as a prosecutor. So,
right. I saw that, yeah, Judge Everett, he was Florida's first African-American male circuit judge for the Second Judicial Circuit. So historical.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah. Okay, people are still talking about Suzanne Summers. Okay. Can't wait for June to see the inflamed looking. Oh, but then on the other hand, remember she did say, "Oh, but I feel bad if he's rotting away in jail." So, I hope she's not swayed, or I hope she's finally come to her senses. Where
Charlie is looking rough. My goodness, it's like
it's awful. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he looks like a very ill person. Yeah. When will we know if the Adelson showed up for their Tuesday meeting? Yeah, I guess maybe if the state has to file something for contempt charges to be brought. And as the judge said, he could file what's it called, like a writ of attachment.
Bodily attachment.
Yeah, to have them basically arrested and forcibly transported to Tallahassee.
I love it. See, we didn't hear that from Judge Wheeler. We're hearing it from Judge Everett, so I'm loving it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see again. It's all we can do is just guess these days. Yeah. But it should be resolved within a couple of weeks when we find out. Found an old video where I talked to Fancy Fiction and Matt Willis. Oh, yeah, you should. I mean, wasn't Matt the guy that someone said he kept laughing like Woody Woodpecker and they didn't like him? Yeah, because I was like, who is this guy? I've never even heard of him. Do you recall watching this, Remy?
I do not remember that.
Okay. Well, it was a long time ago. I think when some of us weren't even really following this case.
Right.
But I remember watching it. I thought it was kind of weird because for Fancy Fiction, she had this like little troll doll sitting up on a platform or something. And I was like, this is interesting because I've never seen a show where someone had like a doll instead of your real face. And then that guy didn't seem to really know much about the case and he just kept laughing about stuff and it was weird. So
she has the best little infographics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I really enjoy or appreciate all the time Fancy has put into this, as well as Mentor, to teach us about the case. There's so many details. Yeah,
they're in the videos with the music are the best as well. So she's got it all.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. So we don't know. Probably. I mean, Sigfredo didn't even have like $10,000 to $50,000. Like, yeah, how did he pay for his lawyer? I have no idea. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Peanut Gallery. Justice for Dan. Yeah, theoretically, yes, it could be reduced, but I haven't heard anything about this so far. So, yeah, that I found very interesting because I thought once she was sentenced, it was over for her.
Right.
Yeah. So interesting that it could potentially still be reduced, but it's up to a judge to decide. Looks like Don Harvey's female lawyer is not very knowledgeable. Yeah, or maybe she deliberately had to seem not too knowledgeable because otherwise the law, which was Supreme Court law, U.S. Supreme Court law, clearly was not in their favor. So the judge was not impressed.
So who's representing Wendy for counsel now that the one guy went to represent Trump?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he can still have multiple clients, I mean, so maybe he is still representing her.
John Lauro.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything else from him. Yeah. So I think someone said Donna is now 74. Harvey, maybe 79.
Oh, wow.
Although Harvey's birthday is what, July 2nd?
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, isn't that kind of pathetic that I know Harvey's birthday? But I think his birthday is July 2nd or something. So
They must have some plan. Donna must have some contingency plan. Not that she's going to try to escape being arrested, but you know that, well, we know Charlie did. I think June Mchenda spoke about how Charlie had like some belongings set out every night before he went to sleep, like expecting all packed up and ready to go. I wonder if she has done the same.
Yeah. Well, they already got their CPA to be their trustee, so the finances are taken care of as far as I know. Oh, speaking of finances, so out of curiosity, I checked again, and Charlie's Fort Lauderdale house is back on the market. Right. So I guess that was just a trick his realtor did to try to make it look like it's a fresh new listing. Mm-hmm. So just a few days ago, they put it back up for sale as well as for rent.
Okay. So any price reduction?
No, still the same last price, which was $1.685 million for a 3-bedroom house built in 1957.
Right.
What do you think about that? Is that normal for Fort Lauderdale?
Unless it's been completely renovated, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it did look updated, but it still wasn't brand new, spanking new looking. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of the stuff still looked a little outdated.
Must be the lot. Is it near the water?
Yeah, there's like, what do you even call that, waterway?
Right. The intercoastal waterways.
So you can keep your boat there. There's like a picture where it says 92 feet, 92 feet wide. To
take the boat out to Boca Bash, as he said.
Yeah. I mean, is that normal though? Because the rent, even though they dropped the rent, it's still $7,945 a month.
Wow.
I mean, who the heck's going to pay almost $8,000 a month rent for a 3-bedroom house?
No one.
What is it, like 1,700 square feet? It's definitely less than 2,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's all the lot and location, apparently.
Yeah. Good luck finding somebody that has that kind of money and wants to rent a house, knowing who used to live there, got arrested there. Yeah. Okay. So, So, mentor lawyer, didn't you? Yeah, you did send me money through PayPal a long time ago, right? Wasn't it for one of our live streams a while back? So I can email you, but I really prefer not to put that out there in public. Yeah.
Time for a Patreon.
Oh, nah, the Patreon requires more time. It's like I don't have time to create more exclusive, Patreon and member
set it up for donations only.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, I can't quit my day job. YouTube does not pay well enough at all. Yeah. Let's go to school to hear it. Ask Wendy, was it worth it? Yeah. Well, of course, she would just still act all innocent. Like, what are you talking about? I had nothing to do with it. I'm such a victim. Yeah. There have been a few rulings that went against the state. I think the state has a strong case, but how can we predict what the state will do without knowing anything about what she said? Yeah, it's hard to tell. You think they'd be asking lots of questions about their dads? Yeah, speaking of Dan's and Wendy's children. Okay, Deep Dive says, we know Katie's credibility is tainted. Then again, if she were put on the stand, she would be there to tell the truth, and all the evidence pointed. Yeah, right. I mean, she's right there in the thick of things. Who better to explain everything? Because it'll finally be the truth, and it's going to make sense.
And Kappelman knows how to interrogate someone, I'm sure. So lay out the facts and then connect the dots.
Yeah. Donna gets it. Oh, yeah, it does. It's disturbing that she's gotten to raise Dan and Wendy's kids all these years. There's a bigger fire, Katie or Wendy. Oldest son is 14. Yeah, no way would a 14-year-old believe some BS story that his favorite uncle just disappeared. Yeah, no, I think the kids note that Uncle Charlie's in jail because Dan's mother mentioned that recently.
No doubt Wendy has a very intricate story that she has told them that's been very well thought out. that probably answers any questions they may have. So
Mm-hmm.
make no mistake, she's manipulating them for sure.
Oh, or the best statement would just be, hey, remember mommy's attorney said we can't talk about these things. So, hey, who wants ice cream? You know,
Right.
or, let's go out for steak and lobster dinner. You know. Mm-hmm. Okay, who's getting excited? Yes, I am getting excited. It's like another 8 days
So
before
ready.
jury selection.
And it's free. It's like I feel like we need to pay like tickets for like pay-per-view for this.
Well, that's why I was telling people that we gotta donate to Deep Dive True Crime. Mentor Lawyer has a PayPal info in the description in his videos. So
Surviving the Survivor. Looks like you're the only one without any avenue of donation, Judy.
No, I mean, people can do those YouTube stickers or whatever, or just watch ads. So it's okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, my YouTube earnings just cover at least my travel costs to go to Tallahassee. So that's good.
Nice. Nice.
That's good. But you know, all the revenue is going to pay for the trip to Tallahassee and the hotel and flight, and you know, there's still equipment. And I just paid $240 again for StreamYard, because to get this like deluxe StreamYard thing, you have to pay. You have to pay for the usage of StreamYard, unless you want their logo to show up. So there's my little logo.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks to Dawn for creating that for me a while back. Yeah.
I think we could do with their logo.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Should I save the $240 a year just to have that like duck?
We don't care about the logo. I speak for your listeners when I say we don't care about their logo.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. If you decide to go to trial, yeah, I think so. I mean, other than the very first day of opening statements, when maybe more media would go, I really think that.
Like I said, I'm not taking a chance. I'm going to call like this week and ask them.
Oh, okay.
I'm some some random guy that's coming up there. I just want to make sure.
How crowded? Yeah.
How crowded and.
I think they have an overflow room, you know, like sort of how churches have an overflow room for people to sit there and watch a TV screen or something. I think there is, because I think a long time ago, Mentor Lawyer had to record a hearing from that overflow room. So he was recording a TV screen with his cell phone.
Yeah.
To people the hearing.
If I'm doing a 7 or 8 hour round trip of driving, I don't want to get into the overflow room.
Yeah. You're like, I gotta be in there and breathe the same air that Charlie Adelson breathed. Yeah.
I want to see just how bad he looks now.
Yeah. Okay, Katie paid $15,000 of the 70. Oh, okay, interesting. Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. Excited, concerned a delay could happen. What does immunity mean? Yeah, it means that whatever they say on Tuesday during their interview cannot be used against them in a future trial or prosecution against them. So that's why Mentor explained recently on his channel that this is a very rare type of situation that the state usually doesn't do. They might do it if they already have enough evidence on somebody, or if it's basically a case that's hit a dead end. So that explains why they didn't try to do this before now. So, because that evidence can't be used against them.
Gotta love it when Georgia Kappelman set the tone with Wendy the last time by immediately asking her what her understanding of the immunity was. That was just perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, she just totally got Wendy just shook on that first question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. Does this show up? Yeah. Thank you, Sonny, for the super sticker. Thank you so much.
All right. So there you go. A super sticker.
Yay. Okay. Thank you. Katie's not in the driver's seat. Georgia is. She's lucky Georgia even continued to offer her anything. Yeah. I mean, we're just assuming. I mean, maybe she's not getting anything other than the sweet taste of revenge against Charlie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angela. We make a good team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, crushed by Georgia and Sarah. Can't wait. Do you think Charlie's trial and conviction will be over? Yeah, it should. Yeah, because the attorneys were just talking about it being a 3-week trial that might last a little bit past 3 weeks, depending on how long jury selection takes. Yeah, so it should be over within, say, like 4 weeks max. Yeah, just a guess again. Okay, we're having a trifecta with Deep Dive Crew. Yeah, thank you. Wonder what Wendy will wear. Oh yeah, yeah, I have that dress too, as you guys have seen. And now I got the owl T-shirt, the July 18th shirt that Wendy wore from Banana Republic.
If she wears it again, if I'm there,
Yeah,
and she wears
everybody
it
would be rolling their eyes like, this lady is crazy. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they're not supposed to take the fifth during the investigative interview or on the stand because they have limited immunity for that. Yeah. So again, Mentor explained that on his channel. I think it's more on his other smaller channel, which is the Mentor Lawyer Justice Network.
So they'll have to answer each question to the best of their ability, to the best of their knowledge.
Yeah, so they can just act stupid. Yeah, just basically like some of the witnesses we saw, acting like, I don't know, I guess.
I don't remember.
Right. I'm not sure. So long ago, Yeah. So we can't keep them from acting dumb, though. Yeah. Yeah, her natural eye color is brown because it was mentioned in Stephen Epstein's book. I think he had spoken to one of her old friends who said that Wendy kept denying it and wouldn't even admit it to this close friend that she was really wearing contacts. How weird.
It's so what's wrong? Cringe-inducing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mentor.
Thank you.
Yeah, we all really appreciate him being pretty much the first person on YouTube covering this case many years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, they cannot, they have the limited immunity. Let's see.
I wonder if it's the same exact immunity that Wendy was offered previously.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, where whatever she says can't be used against her in future prosecutions.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think she would unless she is totally nutso. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Cheryl. Really appreciate that also. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so you're going to wear the dress. Oh, okay. You also got this shirt. Yeah. It's actually pretty comfortable. I like wearing it to live streams because, it's machine washable. It's not too tight. Yeah. Sigfredo and Lewis wanted to get on camera to have an alibi. I don't know. I think they were just dumb because they didn't keep enough of that cash that Sigfredo first got from the lady. Remember, originally he was given like $5,000.
Right.
Maybe even another $2,000. Yeah, I can't remember. But he certainly was given a lot of cash, but he blew it all on his
it was like running around money / drug money and rental money.
Yeah, so they still had to go to the ATM just to get a little bit more. So, okay, Wendy's very cunning. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is way behind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Key moments to share. Well, we just started out by reading some of the pleadings. So now we're just discussing all sorts of random stuff. Yeah. Okay. That's Lacasse. He pronounced it Lacasse. Yeah, like with a southern twang. Yeah, Jeffrey Lacasse.
So is he going to, are there any restrictions on his testimony?
Only that he can't talk about Wendy supposedly telling him that Charlie had looked into all options, including getting a hitman the previous year.
Okay.
But he can still talk about a bunch of other stuff.
Good deal.
Yeah. Okay, let's scroll down. Oh my gosh, it's well over an hour. You gotta go. Okay. 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 When do you was SHTTING Briggs talking to Donna? She was okay. Well, she seemed sort of calm to me, but just the fact that Donna was just like, oh, you know, like it was a weird conversation where Donna didn't really react like you would think a normal person would have.
Right,
You know,
right.
like, I think a normal person would have like, well, what happened? What happened? Like, who did it? Like,
Mhm.
where was he?
Mhm.
You know, did they catch the person? You know, instead it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, tell Charlie, bye.
Right, right.
It was weird.
Very telling.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, True Lifestyles. Thanks for being here also. And thank you for also covering the case so extensively.
Definitely.
Guys, subscribe to her channel too. Wondering about Danny and Daniel. Was she planning to set him up too? Yeah, but I think that, what happened? Yeah, I think the other Daniel already moved away from Tallahassee around the time that Dan was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she was probably just having fun with him because, you know, he did look nice, right? He looked like a fun guy.
Yeah, for sure.
The other person. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's scroll down and go ahead and end this. My voice is gone as usual. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I noticed that. I was like, oh, he doesn't even say Lacasse. It's Lacasse.
Lacasse.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's fine because everybody has their own way of pronouncing their names. So, okay. Why did Wendy stop crying when telling her mom about Danny in the Yeah, well, because that could have been rehearsed also. Yeah, pitch in to rent the house. Okay, yeah, no thanks. I do not want to go back to Charlie's house or go to Charlie's house to act like him. Yeah. Seems like she's stuck in the 80s. Huh? Who's stuck in the 80s? Oh, okay. We're talking about something else. Okay. Okay. Like, what are you talking about? Who's stuck in the 80s? Okay. Great. So I think that's about it. You have any parting words you want to share with everyone?
Justice for Dan. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Everybody buckle in your seatbelts and yeah, let's hope they get some good jurors, get the process moving.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to the actual trial, definitely travel safely.
Yeah.
Get everybody home in one piece.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Arrest before trial. That's why I still don't think so, but you never know.
You never know.
I mean,
it's not too late.
I would still be happy if at least Donna got arrested before Charlie's trial.
Her tonight.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so this is where if you feel like donating to Dan Markel Memorial Fund, you can go to this website. This is a group organization in Canada that Dan's nephew and niece are active with.
Good deal.
Okay, so people are saying you're awesome. It's been a while.
Thanks so much.
Oh yeah, and then also Debbie said that she thought you looked like you were 20 years old.
Oh, thanks.
Is that flattering?
Thank you so much. It's I've got a filter on.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a filter on, but there's some filter, I'm sure, with the fact that it's
make you look 20 years.
If they saw me in person, they would say, "Wow, I was wrong."
Okay, great. Okay, well, so you guys, if there's any breaking news, then I'll try to do another live or video or something. So thank you guys so much for
thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Okay, have a good evening. And you can stay on a little bit if you would like.
For sure.
Okay, thank you guys. See you next time.
Thank you. See ya. Be
Bye.
safe.